happening. Right. All right. All right, so just to take a look at the hot list again, see if there's anything new. FLGI, Intel, Fingu. These are two things I'd like to take a quick look at. Intel. Intel's up 7% on earnings. So Intel and Amazon up on earnings, 6% and 7% respectively. But yeah, I don't really like necessarily Intel where it's at in its trend or what it could do for you. The ADR is 3%, so it's not as low as like Apple, but it's pretty sideways. In any event today, decent, good reaction on ER. And then Fingu, let's see. Oh, that's the FANG index, correct. Okay. FANG index, leveraged, not bearish. And Fingu is up 5%, I guess, because Amazon. And Apple is responding sympathetically, and so everything's going up a little bit. We got a little bit of price appreciation. Right now, we're trading individual stocks right now. Let's see. But yeah, let's take a look at the market. So in pre-market, we are now about 70% retraced on yesterday's drop. That is semi-good news, especially after class last night, which was highly focused on stock market crashes. The crash of 87 looked just like this, teed up nearly exactly the same days of the week that things started to get started. If somehow today were to turn red and break yesterday's low, and that caused some continued sell-off, then the amount that we'd be down overall for the week would be not great, and we would definitely be constituting a downtrend, and then that sentiment echoes through the weekend, and everybody tells everybody else, and then now everybody and your grandma wants to sell all their stocks on Monday, and that's how Black Monday happened in 1987. Yes, futures with Apex, yes, Scott, and that's a lot of instruments. You can, there's a lot of instruments you can trade with that, like gold and the markets, and even on like Tradeovate, they even have like Tesla and Apple and a couple other stocks available on the futures market. So anyway, today it looks like we're getting a little bit of a boost from Amazon and Intel, and sympathetically from Apple and the other FANG stocks. It remains to be seen if that's gonna hold up. We shall see once the market opens. The market's opening in 22 minutes. So we have lots of time to get all prepped away here. I am in ICU, and it's looking like an interesting little scalp with potential ICU. So I'm watching that, seeing how that moves around. It's been pretty well behaved so far. Good morning, Mike. Evan, you lived in Florida a few years back, right? Camille, it was Texas. But I know Florida pretty well. Love Thy Neighbor. I just recommend for right now. I'll be back live later talking more, but for now, just click the link in my bio to get more information. I'm focusing right now on the market that's opening in 20 minutes and getting all prepped away here on that. But and you can send me a private message as well. But I'm going to be looking forward to going over it all a little bit later today in the afternoon. Okay, that sounds good. And that way I'll be able to bring up the web page and stuff and show you more about it. So we are getting that support at $1 and up on ICU. Also, this one, IBRX, looks like a very interesting swing trade starting up. IBRX. Okay, look at the daily chart on this. It's like just starting. It was just getting started. The ADR is starting to, go crazy. Sell-off days have been very low volume. Buying days have been very high volume. Just did 650% RVol again. I did see APLM, yeah. So anyway, this one, IBRX, could be a swing trade. You might want to wait for a pullback, but it could even present a scalp intraday trade for you. APLM. Yeah, I just don't like it because it's day one. It's day one. Like, who knows which way it's going to go? Prior to that, it had volume but declining. So now it's day one of up, right? And so yeah, it could do something, but it'd be gambling, because you have no kind of idea what it's going to do. Day two, now you'll have more information. So, but yeah, it's an intraday trade you can watch, Daniel, for sure. No, I'm not watching that. And look at that, it's over $1. Yeah, that's very interesting too, right? Okay, I'll go get some with you. How about that? We'll see what happens with it. Let's see. Excuse me. If it becomes a swing trade, that's ideally what I'd like about that one, APLM, because it could be like a full-on bottom reversal. Daniel, for an intraday trade, interesting. 7 a.m. trade, nice, yes. Do your own F is what it says. Oh, fucking research, yeah. Do your own F research. I thought it was, we'll just say that actually says do your own fundamental research. That's what we'll pretend that says. I'll put a scalp exit for 50% at 144 on APLM if that ends up hitting. So, okay, APLM, let's put it on the radar here. You can watch it. It's teeing up quite nicely. All right, we have 17 minutes until the market opens. Off and on for 2 years. I missed the 8 screens and everything. Yeah, well, you've got 8 charts right here. Oh, wait, there they are. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're here in just a different way. But I am ramping up my studio office again. So there'll be all the cool stuff and gadgetry eventually. It takes time. They're behind you, I think. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. And in fact, if you go over to my YouTube right now, you can see sort of a screenshot of that in the background. Yeah. For whatever that's worth to you. APM's float, 360 million. This is a very high float, so it's likely not going to move around. ICU is only 2 million. See, so there's kind of a big difference between those two there. So market opening in 16 minutes. How do I screen for trades? Excellent question. I also do have an archive of videos on my YouTube and at marketmastery.teachable.com. And I do reveal like a lot of different screening techniques that I use, but I have lots of screens. And in fact, if you go to my YouTube right now, I'm live over there as well, and it shows, I have like up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think 11 screens running live right now. But essentially you're looking for what's hot, what's up a lot on a lot of volume and having an unusual, day. Anything unusual, but it's not that simple. We're looking for anything unusual that also could fit a particular set of pattern, and that we have the strategies to trade that pattern, right? So, but it starts with something that's up unusually high on unusually high volume, and then low float helps. Things move sometimes, float regardless of float. Sometimes they move. So you don't want to just completely limit it. My scans don't eliminate outliers. My scans don't eliminate. I eliminate outliers. So I look at them and I determine whether or not to eliminate an outlier or not. I would rather know what a computer thinks might be something happening, and then I look at it and say, okay, it's nothing happening there, then the computer not tell me what might be happening on something. That's important. I don't watch press release feeds. I have in the past. That can be great. In order to properly do that, you can't really do that with Thinkorswim too well. It is possible, but it's not so thorough on Thinkorswim. Their news sources are not so thorough. You can subscribe to other services which can provide that, and that can get you in earlier on certain things. APLM looking good. Looks like it's going to break out of the price high right now of 137. APLM looks like it's about to happen. Looks like at that point, 137, there will be about 14 cents of risk. Good questions. Are you watching that one? Yeah. And that IBRX is moving. Was that it just broke, pre-market at 207. It's now at 214. So that's moving as well. It's up. That's a 7% move just in 2 or 3 blippy trades. There it goes. It's pushing up. That IBRX, this is the one I said could be a good swing trade. And today could provide some intraday scalps. $14 on APLM, analysts say. Yeah, but who are those analysts? Double check who they are, what firms they're with. Might be Aerotine Systems. If you got funded and got a payout, does that put me in the top 1%? I think maybe top 10%. Your chances of that are better than you think. But the nice thing is you didn't have to blow all your own money to find out, like that huge amount of money to find out. I think for the first few years of trading, that's the way to go. Ease your way in with as little risk as possible. And if you have the talent / skill, / learning curve, and you get there, great, But if you don't, you know, we you don't want it to hurt. It shouldn't sting. Thanks for the follow. All right, we've got 11 minutes till the market opens. I will be on later today and over the weekend to talk more in detail about the idea of trading with other people's money, becoming a backed trader, essentially. And I mean, there's pros and cons, but the cons are really, 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 really small. And the pros are solid. Okay, we're looking for a breakout of 137 on APLM. Can it do it? Can it happen? It does use. There's a couple platforms you can choose from, Sarah, and that is one of them. Yes, and that's probably the one I recommend in the beginning. I love it. I love Trade-O-Vate. It's freaking awesome. Poker, what's that? Did you go pro in poker? Yes, sir. Yeah, that's how you go pro in poker. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I used to be a professional poker player. Did you know that? By coincidence, you said something that I don't know if you knew that. You've been with me for a long time. You probably did know that. I was a professional poker player for 2 years. The only problem with it, why I pretty much hung up the towel there, is you're only making money when you're sitting your ass in a chair. And those sessions, they go on sometimes 20 hours, 30 hours, sometimes when you're working a table. And it's exhausting. And there's no passive income. And if you're not sitting down in a chair, it's not generating revenue. It's just not my style. So after 2 years, doing profitable and doing fine, it just wasn't the kind of thing I wanted to spend my time investing in. Yeah, you didn't know? Yeah, that's pretty funny you said that then. Yes, sir. I used to play at Bellagio, Vegas, and then Poker Stars online. I would multi-table 8 to 12 tables, sometimes 16 at the same time. It's pretty fucking crazy. 9 minutes, 8 minutes until the market opens. APLM is just tightening up, just wedging up there. We often see those wedges sort of fail out before they open, cause some distress so that the market open, which happens at 9:30 in 8 minutes, is not such a cakewalk. So there's a little bit more of a psychological mind fuck going on. So beware of that. There might be a blip down here before the open on APLM and anything that trades. I'd say it's the exception to the rule that they don't, and then they just fly when the market opens, and that could happen here. There's probably about 1 in 4. Kind of neither. Z countant, more like you trade. Well, more like somebody backs you. I think that's the best way to put it. Somebody backs you as a trader, but first you must be tested as a trader. And then they'll really back you. There's a much better way to go, while you're learning than blowing your own money, testing things out, seeing how you could do. All right, 132 on APLM. Daniel, anybody else in APLM already? Out of curiosity. Moving into the open here. There's no penalty if you fail, but you got to choose your account levels. So, click the link in my bio to find out a little more, and then I'll discuss it as a topic on a live later today and over the weekend. But find out all the little teeny weeny details for now via the link there. Like a pool of friends' money. That's pretty cool, man. And that's possible. That's something that people do, but no, kind of the other way around. You still got to become a good trader. Instead of say, hey, here's my money. Let me give it to a good trader. And there goes that APLM, in my opinion, breaking down the wedge a little bit right there, right before the open. We've got 5 minutes before the open, and now it's getting testy, you see. Okay, pop. We're looking for that break of 137. Apex. Lucid, you want to know about Lucid? What was that? Trade with strangers' money. Yeah, Lucid. I can just tell you, I can't pull up the chart right now over there. Lucid looks terrible. Yeah, Lucid looks terrible, bro. Terrible. You got some, okay? Bob's in APLM with me, and there's the breakout on APLM right before they open. That's a positive sign. Like I just said, most of these fail out before the open. Maybe it's still going to fail out. But yeah, I'm going to take a little snippet there on some of that strength. There we go. I just sold 10% on that strength. I would normally sell more, but I'd like to see it move more. There we go. 142 now. Hit 142. Just barely about to hit 143, obviously. But it seems like 144 is kind of a foregone conclusion at this point, so I would say 149 is definitely in the stars. Unless this thing just tanks at the open, which I don't think it will, because we're and there's a big move right now. As a matter of fact, tanking right before the open. So, speak of the devil. But because it just got over $1. Oh, no, APLM. Sorry. No, this one definitely could bleed out. It has a huge float, 360 million. This one definitely could bleed out. I should have taken out a bigger scalp out exit on that. ICU is the one with a 2.5 million float, and that one has a lot more potential and probability to it. APLM, yeah, you need to be a little bit more aggressive with taking your money out of that one. I'm going to take another piece out right here. It has a good chance of failing out. So Grant, yes, but use the code SAVE90. Use the code SAVE90, Grant. SAVE90, all caps, no space. And you'll get 90% off of that. Okay, that's or anybody else. And you'll be like, what? That's like, this is why I say it's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, and I have certain ones I recommend and, over other ones. But you can't go wrong for, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. What'd you say? Who was that? Bob? Yeah, that's correct. That works too. Yes, sir. Amazon sort of dojiing. APLM, I still don't feel too good about on that move down it just made. I'm going to try and take a little bit more out right there. I just did. I'm 40% out. Moving into the open, which is coming in 45 seconds. No, it's pretty much market indexes like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, the market trading. I mean, and I highly recommend that that's the way to start learning, is to start from the perspective of the market. It's a great way. You start, kind of large. As you become more experienced, you start to add a little bit more detailed knowledge to things. Because the liquidity is so high, there's a lot of advantages to it. Talk about it more later today and this weekend as well. All right, market's opening in 1 second. Here we go. Bing, 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 bing. Where is it? It's not going to bing, bing. There we go. All right, we're watching ICU and APLM for any intraday scalps, and also IBRX. IBRX is moving up. It just broke pre-market high, so that's a signal. That's an entry signal. You may want to wait the full 60 seconds of the open, but you don't have to. APLM actually blipping up a little bit. It's looking kind of good. APLM. I'm going to go ahead and get down to 50% position size right here as a de-risk on APLM, although it may break the 140 level, which will be beautiful. But I'm still going to try and, scalp out at 144 and 149. I'd rather make a couple of easy small trades in this kind of market than leave my dick hanging in the wind all day. This is not the kind of market you want to do that. You want to end up like Acapulco. Knock on wood. Jesus, all those buildings where it didn't have hurricane shutters? And some of them were just pure glass. They were like beautiful Architectural Digest glass buildings. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? I guess it's probably pretty cheap, actually. It's probably pretty cheap to build a building like that and then rebuild it. Comparatively, that must have been what they were thinking. Well, APLM is working out and ICU is not really going anywhere. I'm going to get over to ICU for a second and take a look at that. I'm going to take a few pieces out of ICU here. We may start to see some thickened, congested support just underneath the $1 level on ICU. I already have some exit orders put in on APLM, so I'm able to take my eyes off it. I have some laddered exits up there. The market itself is mixed. S&P 500 down, growth stocks, the Qs, QQQ, NASDAQ, moving up a little bit. Both of them with a bit of volatility, back and forth. Not too directional as of yet. We're at $1.01 on ICU, and we're at $1.38-ish on APLM with a high of $1.41. What was I about to do? Yeah, we're going to switch over from ICU to APLM. Oh, nice. IBRX is moving. 227, it just popped, from 218. IBRX. This is the one that's sort of set up very well for intraday scalps, as it maybe moves from like 210 to 270, but very scraggly, and you never know where it's going to end up or if it's going to be worthwhile swing trade to hold overnight. But one thing you can maybe use it for is some intraday scalps. I did get a little bit of exit on APLM at 144. It hit 145. So now the high of the day is 145 on APLM. And I did get that exit. and have still some more. ICU is reclaimed up to 107. I'm going to take the opportunity to de-risk a little bit there. It's hitting a 109. Very nice. ICU and IBRX. I mean, all my top picks this morning doing great, actually, right off the open in the event. And that'd be ICU, IBRX, which is now at 228, and APLM, which is holding in the upper 130s. We're looking to see if it can push through 145. Yeah, thanks for the follow, everybody. Don't forget to follow. If you like the lives. And good morning to y'all. 110 we just hit on ICU. So ICU's doing something. ICU. APLM, let's go back over there. Now APLM's got that big float, so that's a problem. I mean, it would take $250 million to really push it around. So this is prone to fail out, APLM. So I'd be pretty aggressive with your exits. I've already taken 60%. I'm happy if I end up getting all out just under $1.50. And if it tees up again, I'll go for it. ICU sitting at $1.07. And there's APLM with a little bit of failure going on. I'm going to go ahead and take a piece out at the ask. Yeah, and I got that fill. So there's definitely a fight going on there. IBRX doing outstanding. Just hit 231. Pre-market entry was at 216. So it's up 7% just on a scalp right there. That's delicious. IBRX. It's too late now. You guys got to be taking profits at this point on this price appreciation. Now you got to wait for a pullback if you want, to try and take a second swing at it. S&P 500 value stocks, all that down. Growth stocks holding pretty strong, and that's coming from Amazon and Intel's good earnings this morning. Amazon, sort of sympathetically causing all the FANG stocks to have a good moment. IBRX hitting 237. All right, things slowing down. IBRX hitting 239. I mean, it's just going vertical. And remember, the halts are 30% on NASDAQ on a stock like this, and there was $1 yesterday. So you need a 60-cent move in order to halt IBRX right now, roughly, because it was like $2. At the open, it's got 30% bands on it. APLM now failing out. I'm going to go ahead and flatten my position. I only had 30% left. All good. Basically broke even on my original entry, which I had been holding. But there it goes. APLM, like I said, it's going to, more than likely fail out because of the high float. That's really the issue there, the high float. All right, moving over to ICU, which may have just lost buying interest. That's all. I mean, it certainly has a float low enough to move, but if people don't want it, it's not going to move. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to de-risk another little snippet right around here. There we go, at the ask at 103. I'm down to 70% left on my position on ICU. I really like it because it's hanging out right around $1, right below $1. You get to that decimalization point, and if it a low float like it is, it should get extremely congested in there, and stay in the upper 90s long enough for you to be able to, control the risk on it and maybe even get in, even add. 242 on IBRX, 242. Entry pre-market call out was at 216, so that's up 12%. APLM totally failing out now. I mean, this is what happens when you have these mega floats. The float is just way too high. You need more than you need $1/3 billion, to have a balanced trading going on there. So it can't hold the bid and ask spreads. It's just not enough. It's not optimum. I mean, hey, maybe it gets $1/3 billion, but that's the very unlikely thing. So I'm able to say, with a degree of confidence that that's not going to happen, and that it's going to fail out, and that is what happened. Whereas ICU, I feel pretty good about, and here it is popping back to 109 again, ICU, and I still have 70% of my position, and IBRX doing pretty good. IBRX has the 84 mil float, and it's moving. And the chart looks good in the swing trading spectrum, but it should also be a kind of quick scalp type of situation as well. You probably are already out. If you got in at 260, you probably are already all out at this point. You're just gonna have to wait for it to fail out and see if a second trade can present itself. The S&P 500 just failing out, but the Q's strong. Although the Q's are fading as well. They're about to break under the low of the day, of the morning. So the market may be turning red. And this is what we were talking about. The sort of what if the market turns red today, and what if it gets down to the bottom of yesterday's low? That's going to easily cause lower prices from there. And then at that point, you have a pretty decent negative week this week, broken down under pivots, making a 4-point downtrend on the market. Basically turns into a bear market instead of a correction. And then by Monday, we get a Black Monday situation where everybody and their grandma wants out of the stock market. Here we go on ICU. ICU's moving up. It's hitting $1.11 now. And if it can get over $1.12, that's a pre-market pivot, a reversal at $1.12. It just did it. It just hit $1.12 and change, $1.13. So that's an excellent point for it to have moved over. I mean, that could be an entry for somebody who's not in. $1.12 entry with basically $1 for your stop, so 12 cents a risk. These Wall Street goons can get a taste of Main Street. Yes, sir. Or wherever the retail traders live. 3rd Street, or something. 87th Street. Well, anyway, in New York City, I don't know the streets and where the average Joe lives, but yeah. Don't forget to follow everybody out there. Don't forget to follow. Click the link in my bio also if you're curious about that other thing becoming funded. Game stonk. Don't forget to see Dumb Money. That movie was really good. IBRX at 246. APLM is completely failing out. It's at 121 now after hitting a high of 145. Just red blood. Meanwhile, ICU is hit 115. Just touched 115, just underneath there. And that's good. ICU is at 115 now. What was that? What happens to a stock when the float is locked, good things. When the supply gets limited and people want it, supply and demand, man. For long trades, good things. I mean, less supply is what you're looking for. That's why APLM with the 360 million float is just way too high. At $1, that's over. It's almost $400 million in order to get through the float. No, I'll have to look that up. Been trading for 25 years. That hasn't come up. When I look up DRS, just like flat out, it's drag reduction system for Formula One cars. But let's see what it says with the stock market. Nah, it thinks that's a ticker. But you go ahead and tell me. Amazon breaking above pre-market highs right now. Amazon. That's really good for the growth market. And the Qs, in fact, coming back up to highs. Amazon with a very nice price action right there. And Apple already leading Amazon, actually. Even though Amazon was the one with the good earnings reaction. Direct registered shares locked. So you're talking about like with IPOs? I'll have to look that up and learn more about that. Thank you very much for illuminating me to yet another thing that I need to master. So ICU hitting $1.17 right now. Very nice. We're looking for it to break pre-market highs of $1.23. That becomes a significant level. I'm going to zoom out here on my ladder. There we go. Oh, no, that's too far. Okay. And IBRX with that pullback. So, if you didn't get in, now you might want to be stalking it for your pattern, your strategy for some kind of entry pattern, that you're okay with and that you can figure out your risk on, and that becomes a confirmed signal, etc. Don't just gamble. Don't buy a falling knife. But there we go. IBRX, done moving up to 246, now pulling back at 228. APLM continuing to bleed out. And Amazon almost at 129 now. Yesterday, I think it closed at like 117 or 118, and now it's at 129. That's pretty good for Amazon. AMZU, the ticker that provides 50% more leveraged return. It's an ETF. No, I am not. In fact, it says that up there on the words that are going by. I don't have that certification yet, but I am working on it. Because eventually I will run my own fund. But, one thing at a time. It takes time. And, Amazon's at 128.90, so it's about to hit 129. Good stuff on Amazon. Apple pulling back while Amazon's running. They're basically assisting each other. And we have, whoa, really? About what? What did I say? Oh, hell no. You just retire? I mean, I basically am. I'm like basically semi-retired. But, what was I watching before? Something, I saw a TikTok or something. Like I think they were talking about CEOs or something, people who make billions of dollars and they have billions of dollars in network. They don't just stop. They did it They didn't do it for the money. The money is just the result of who they are. And who you are doesn't stop. Effectively, that was what the TikTok said. I mean, yes, but yeah, but they kind of are. And everybody manages their money differently. Some of them, might have a reason to have cashed out a big chunk. But yeah, for the most part, it's just on paper. But like Elon Musk found out, you can't buy Twitter entirely on a loan because, it's kind of a lot of money to ask somebody for. So he did have to liquidate. But the good thing is it was a business expense. You don't have to pay any taxes because it went right back into a business. Went from one business to the other business. All right. Well, this can go on and on all morning. IBRX, there's your second entry. Will it work? You don't know, but hopefully you were stalking it. There's your second entry on IBRX. It's pretty much getting away from you, so hopefully you, wanted it and we're going after it. No, Dennis. I'll be talking about like other stuff, funded accounts, the Apex stuff, and all that. And then maybe, to keep an eye on my TikTok. Dennis, follow me on TikTok, and you can turn on this little like notification bell, and it would let you know on your phone if I went live over there. If you want to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, it could cover a range of things. Especially, I'll sometimes go live at a unorthodox time, let's say midday, a time where I don't go live, but I'm here, if something's gone crazy. But even then, if something's gone crazy, I'm usually just capitalizing on it and trying to alert you guys and stuff. And, to be able to turn on the circus, it's kind of like not the highest priority. So, but yeah, it's possible for me to be going live more than once a day or on the weekend, at night, stuff like that. We had class last night. I guess you were probably having a meeting or some lunch. Okay, now as IBRX, by the way, I'm about to log off, but as IBRX starts to get close to the previous high, you should conservatively and aggressively just go ahead and exit a sum, at least 20%, if not 50%, because that's basically your target. That's it. You just do this over and over. You keep a little piece in case it does break out, and then exit some more on strength, et cetera, until you've scalped. Because in this market, that's all we got. All right. On that note, all right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. And hey, have a great weekend. It's Friday. If I don't, see you again, I'll see you on Monday. And knock on wood, this day doesn't go red, red, red. But if it does, you heard it here first. Monday could be tragic. All right. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. On that note. All right.